Providing meal support for a person with an eating disorder can lead us spiraling on our own path of panic, guilt, shame, and anxiety. Just know that if you are the person that is providing support for somebody that has an eating disorder, it is your job to be their model, to be their strength, their rock in this situation that is incredibly traumatic for the person suffering with a starving brain. Your job as somebody that is providing support to a person with an eating disorder is one, to remain calm. They have a lot of anxiety, guilt, shame, and panic building up in their body as they're challenging these very deep rooted beliefs about food in their body. So, our job is to remain calm and model that behavior at mealtime. So that way, they're able to rely on this calmness even when their world is feeling like they're falling apart. Remain confident. So know that the meals that you have provided are intended to be there to nourish the patient with an eating disorder and not cause harm. Be compassionate. Understand and empathize that this person is going through an incredibly traumatic situation and that you're there to support them, but also move them forward in their journey towards recovery. And be consistent. Let that individual know that what they can expect in having your support as somebody that is there during mealtime and eating disorder recovery. When somebody is recovering from an eating disorder, they have a starving brain. Their eating disorder has taken on the role of masking any emotions that they might have that might be difficult. So we have a saying in eating disorder world, if you eat all the meals, you feel all the feels. And that can't be more true at mealtime, especially in these early stages of eating disorder recovery, or what we call quote unquote mechanical eating, which is where the individual is following a prescribed meal plan by their eating disorder dietitians to meet their nutrition needs. If you have questions about what an eating disorder meal plan might look like, definitely check out my video on eating disorder meal plans and how to provide support for that and orchestrate the correct eating disorder meal plan. So if you're supporting an individual with an eating disorder, I want you to really treat this like any other condition that might medically impact the individual. So for example, if we're thinking about a person or a child with, say, diabetes, and that child is scared to take their insulin because they don't want that needle in their body. They feel aversive to it. There's lots of emotions, guilt, and panic that are coming up with that insulin. But you know, as the provider for that child, that they have to have that insulin to survive. Are you going to say, maybe we'll just forego this insulin dose at this meal? Or maybe we'll just have a little bit of this insulin dose at this meal? No, we are not, because we know that if we don't provide that insulin to that child, if they have, say, a condition like type 1 diabetes, they are going to die. Now, I know this is a hard truth, but an individual with an eating disorder that is not properly nourishing at some point could have their life at risk. And so I want you to treat that very similarly to how you would treat an individual suffering with type 1 diabetes. The goal of meal support with an eating disorder is to provide the meals and snacks that are necessary to sustain life, nourishment, and all of those things, and to encourage that individual to consume those meals at 100% in order to essentially sustain their life. So just know that the food is the medicine at mealtime for a person with an eating disorder.